Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Croissant. Thank you so much for joining me for our last chapter of Mummies in the Morning. So let's get started. Yesterday, in chapter 9, they were lost in the pyramid. And then they came across the black cat. And the black cat helped them to get out of the pyramid. They got up into the treehouse and they said, "We'd like to go home." So let's find out if they made it home. Chapter 10, Another Clue. Another clue. Late morning sunlight shone through the treehouse window. Shadows danced on the walls and ceiling. Jack took a deep breath. He was lying on the floor of the treehouse. "I wonder what Mom's making for lunch," said Annie. She was looking out the window. Jack smiled. Lunch, Mom, home. It all sounded so real, so calm and safe. "I hope it's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches," he said. He closed his eyes. The wood floor felt cool. "Boy, this place is a mess," said Annie. "We'd better make it neater in case Em comes back." Jack had almost forgotten about Em. Would they ever meet the mysterious Em? The person who seemed to own all the books in the treehouse? "Let's put the Egypt book on the bottom of the pile," said Annie. "Good idea," said Jack. He needed a rest before he visited any more ancient tombs. "Let's put the dinosaur book on top of the Egypt book." Dinosaur book was their first adventure. The book I did not have, so sorry. "Yeah, good," said Jack, and a long rest before he visited another Tyrannosaurus Rex. "The castle book can go on the very top of the pile." That was their second adventure. Jack nodded and smiled. He liked thinking about the knight on the cover of the castle book. He felt as if the knight were his friend. "Jack," said Annie, "look." Jack opened his eyes. She was pointing at the wooden floor. "What is it?" Oh, what are they pointing at right here? "You have to see for yourself." Jack groaned as he got up. Ugh. He stood next to Annie and looked at the floor. He didn't see anything. "Turn your head a little," said Annie. "You have to catch the light just right." Jack tipped his head to one side. Something was shining on the floor. He tipped his head a little bit more, and a letter came into focus. The letter M. It shimmered in the sunlight. This proved the treehouse belonged to M. So this M has been inside of the books, and now they've found it in the treehouse. So they know that somebody that has a name with an M in it owns these books and this treehouse. Absolutely, for sure, no question, no doubt about it. Jack touched the M with his finger. His skin tingled. Just then the leaves trembled. The wind picked up. "Let's go down now," he said. Jack grabbed his backpack. Then he and Annie climbed down the ladder. As they stood on the ground below the treehouse, Jack heard a sound in the bushes. "Who's there?" he called. The winds grew still. "I'm going to bring the medallion back soon," Jack said loudly. "And the bookmark, too. Both of them tomorrow." "Who are you talking to?" asked Annie. "I feel like M is nearby," Jack whispered. Annie's eyes grew wide. "Should we look for him?" Just then, their mother's voice came from the distance. "Jack! Annie!" Jack and Annie looked around at the trees. Then they looked at each other. "Tomorrow," they said together, and they took off running out of the woods. They ran down their street. They ran across their yard. They ran into their house. They ran into their kitchen. They ran right into their mom, who was making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. All right, boys and girls, thank you for joining me. We just finished our first read aloud. It was Mummies in the Morning, and unfortunately it was book 3. So we didn't get to start with book 1 or book 2 like we would normally do in our classroom. I will go and see what book I have to read next, and we will start that on Monday. So please join me then for a new read aloud, a new Magic Tree House series book. Until then, thank you. Bye.